Welcome to the podcast that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zach Parkerson.
Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which we then use as a springboard for spirited and lighthearted discussion on whatever the moral or theme of their story is. This week, it is a listener story, which means this isn't one of ours. So,
nope, I didn't write these words.
It's probably going to be amazing.
Do not take ownership for these.
It'll probably be on par.
Mediocre.
At best.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. What a way to sell listeners, boy. Thanks for bringing them back. Week in, week out.
Who chimed in this week?
So Scott Clark wrote in a story.
Did you already read this? Because we don't read them ahead of time, but have you read it?
I skimmed through it. I don't read it all in detail. It's a pretty long story.
You just want to do the cliff notes, just the last couple sentences, and we'll call it a day?
Sure, why not?
I think that's how Smirk should roll.
You crack open a book, you read the first sentence and the last sentence. You're like, you know what? This is for me. So let's do that for this.
That's what we should do. We should do the first sentence and the last sentence, then see if we can figure out what the story is about.
I'm sure he would love that.
Oh, that would be a weird story.
So you're going to read his story?
I am going to read his story.
Is it from a male perspective?
It's however he wants the perspective to be.
Can you do it in a male perspective voice?
This is my best man voice.
Well, it's sultry.
It's very rapey, this band.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it.
I don't know, but you'd be convicted. That's getting worse. That's sex offender list.
Wow.
All right, so never change my identity is what you're saying.
I would stay gender neutral like you are. All right. It's your time, or Scott Clark's time. Let's hear what he has to say.
Richard Armitage stared at himself in the bathroom mirror of his 5-star hotel with his hands firmly pressed on either side of the sink. His hangover wasn't the worst thing he had ever experienced, but the slight twinge of a headache was enough to remind him of the one too many gin and tonics he had enjoyed the night before. As the smoke from his cigarette curled around his face, he heard Haley stirring in the bed from the next room. Richard looked over his shoulder to see that she was still fast asleep and quietly closed the door behind him. It was fate that brought their chance meeting the night before. Both were die-hard Colts fans in town on business, and they happened to pick the same sports bar to watch the big game. Haley struck up a conversation with him and offered to buy him a drink. What a girl! Richard was attracted to her forward nature, and the rest was history. Today was a very important day for Richard's company. The merger battle had ensued for several weeks, and today was to be the final meeting between both companies. Last night was exactly what he needed, but it wasn't quite enough to shake his uneasiness of this merger. It would all but solidify his promotion to senior vice president. Having already showered and shaved, Richard quickly dressed. He tightened his necktie while squinting through the haze that rose above his face. Finally, he nodded to himself, satisfied with his appearance, and dropped his cigarette into the sink before heading for the door. As he passed the bed, he tenderly ran his fingers through Haley's hair and left his business card on the bedside table before leaving. He hoped to see her again before flying home this weekend. Richard briskly walked to his rental car when he thought he saw a familiar face. He swore he had seen the man multiple times back home, but he shook it off, distracted by his upcoming meeting. As he turned the ignition to the car, his cell phone rang. As he answered, the familiar 3 beeps emanated from the device before his wife began asking him when he would be flying home. He confirmed his arrival time and asked how the kids were doing. They chatted until Richard pulled into the office parking lot 15 minutes later. And then it happened. As soon as he hung up, the radio started going haywire. Richard, who was in a hurry to go inside, quickly smacked the side of the radio, which jolted free of the dash, a small object falling to the floor of the car. Annoyed, he swept his hand across the floor, searching for the object, expecting a hefty fee once he returned the rental car. The object was small, about the size of a thumbtack. Upon closer inspection, he realized it was a tiny camera.
In his car?
Also, I don't know what fin means, but that's
finale.
It's the it's story. You put it at the end of a script.
Yeah.
So his wife hired a PI? Is that what I'm getting away from this?
I mean, or she just put a tiny camera in his car. It's not like she needs to hire a PI anymore.
What's she going to see in the car?
Yeah.
Oh, he's driving around?
His feet are nasty.
Well, what if he picked up the lady?
It's a rental car, right? And he's away on business, so it would have to be a private investigator.
Oh, no, that's a very good point. You are correct in your assessment.
Or I guess she calls the car company and says, hey, I think my man be cheating. I think Richard Armitage, the actor, be cheating on me.
I think that Hobbit guy is pulling a fast one.
Well, what do you guys think the moral or theme of this story from Scott Clark is?
Check your stuff, man. Make sure you don't have cameras in your car. Duh.
Yeah, you definitely don't get caught. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the obvious moral.
Such a
Look
dude
out. If you see
response.
if you see the same guy 87 times, it's not normal. Unless you know, he thinks you're attractive. Then it makes sense.
Also, she's had to have been inspecting him for quite a while.
Inspecting him?
Like he is a private eye.
She has
Fine.
to have inspected him?
Oh, yeah, I'm
Inspected
confused.
isn't the right word.
Investigated him?
No, that's not the word I was going.
Suspected him?
Maybe that's the word I was thinking
It's
of.
definitely better than what you picked.
She was inspecting every inch of him.
Ooh, maybe she was.
Well, his wife wasn't.
Well, maybe that's her kink, is watching him bang other ladies.
That would be weird.
But he made it something like the camera was in the vent. Did I understand
Yeah,
that right?
that's what I hear as
Yeah.
well.
It was the radio started going all weird and
And
then
he hit it and the camera flew out
Yep.
of the radio.
and fell down onto the floor.
Or was it on his outfit or something?
Would you say that maybe video killed the radio star?
Why did you just laugh at your own joke? I've never heard you do that before.
It's just
Somebody had to.
Yeah, it says that the radio had started going haywire, so Richard, who was in a hurry to go inside, quickly smacked the side of the radio, which jolted free of the dash, a small object falling to the floor of the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm... See, I don't know. I think this PI sucks because why are you putting cameras in the car? You're not going to see anything unless they're humping in the car, right? They had a hotel. They had a 5-star hotel.
That's true.
But she was probably in the car, so...
yeah.
So
I was gonna
are you
say,
guys
there
sticking with your moral of the story that
Yeah, don't get
basically
caught.
don't get caught?
I guess the actual moral is probably you'll always get caught or something. Probably the exact opposite. Of what
Or
you
maybe
said.
if you're going to be an asshole, be a smart one.
Is that what it says?
No, but wouldn't that be great? I just made
That
that,
would be
up.
so cool if he had the balls to put that as his moral.
I might use it.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
You're right. Yeah.
His
Hate the
actual
Taylor.
theme is infidelity the worst sin?
Wow.
Oh.
So he wants to talk about cheating.
Yeah, shame on her because he has there's a personal bubble and she invaded his personal space by doing these things. So really, who's at fault here? I think her, because what did he do? Put something where he shouldn't have put something. She put something where she shouldn't have put something. Why is nobody mad at her?
You know what? Yeah, they're on the same level.
I
Shame
hope your
on
wives
you.
listen to this podcast.
Shame on you, Mrs. Armitage or Armitage, whichever.
I can't imagine. This is a bold topic, Scott Clark.
Yeah, it is.
Well, he doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, you guys do it. Have fun
Right,
being divorced.
right. Yeah.
Are you guys going to be honest in this episode when I start asking you questions,
And
though?
funny, if we can.
Very, very funny. No, I'm going to be dishonest, but I'm going to deflect with humor.
Why? That's how you respond to everything. I need you to
Second.
be honest here.
Yeah, it depends on what your questions are.
This is the honesty circle.
No, this is a public forum that I'm not too stupid to say anything too stupid.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
well let's get into the questions, I suppose.
Please bring it.
These should be fun.
Yeah, do you want me to give you his explanation?
It's like a summary. He provided the cliff notes to his own story.
Well, it's an explanation of the idea behind the story. Do you want to know what inspired this
Sure.
cheating scandal?
Why is this kid? I mean, she's snooping on him too.
Oh, boy.
I'm not letting her off the
We
hook
are
here.
getting into that. Will you just hold
What
your
if she
horses?
was wrong? Then there's a huge trust issue and that marriage is collapsing anyway. So that marriage is over regardless. It doesn't matter
Well,
if
it
he did
is,
anything
but
or not.
at least now she can get proof and probably get him like in the courts.
What
where
if this is the first time he did it? So technically she was the problem first. So she should be the
she
one.
wouldn't.
Yeah, because she was following him before he did anything. So he didn't do anything wrong. Therefore, she was in the wrong first.
Why are you getting so personally defensive
Because
of
this
Richard?
is because I feel for Richard.
Poor Richard.
The explanation says the idea behind the story is that the audience is supposed to hate Richard on the onset because of his infidelity. The twist, however, is that Richard's entire life has been completely fabricated, a la The Truman Show. Unbeknownst to him, he has been the subject of a reality television show since he was born. His entire life had been manufactured and monitored for an an audience of millions. His wife and family are all actors, and everything he has ever known has been a lie. He's only discovering this now.
A, this does feel like information we needed. B, what?
Well, A, it was after the fin, which you told me was the final part of the story. So
It was. I wonder if that should be at the end, like truth or fiction. I don't know, but it feels like that's a cool aspect of the story.
Well, that doesn't mean it's truth or fiction. You don't know that yet. You just know.
No, I know that now. I'm 100% certain. I know that now.
No, he could absolutely have been on a reality show.
Yes, he could have.
This is America.
Truman Show could be real.
Well, it says fabricated a la The Truman Show, not that he was part of The Truman Show.
We got it. That's a really cool twist, man. I like that.
I feel like I'm on Lost.
Okay. Well,
what does he want us to talk about? How right Richard was? Because now it sounds like he was even righter.
Yeah, now I do feel for Richard.
That poor son of a bitch.
All right.
I want his wife off the show.
Kicked off.
Can we vote her off the island?
The discussion Scott hopes that we have is that we talk about infidelity and how many people in society consider infidelity the worst possible crime you can commit. So my first question is, how awful is cheating really to you guys?
It's bad.
Is this a note to your wife or something? Like, remember, be honest.
Yeah, slip her a note that says, it's bad. No, I mean, of course it's bad. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, how bad is it really?
Yeah. Like, do you see, because what Scott's point is that in society, a lot of people do really consider it like, that's it. You can murder somebody.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
But if you cheat, man, there is no way to fix that marriage. So do you think it's the end all be all, the worst thing that you could do?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like a lot of things are variables. Because there are marriages where cheating happens and it recovers and it comes back and works fine. Like, I don't know, like, grandma and grandpa have all the grandkids around. You find out that grandpa cheated 30 years ago, but grandma moved past it and everything's all good. Like, that is a possibility. If grandpa murdered somebody, it's harder to come back from.
Or if he diddled little kids, you can't come back from that.
That's above murder. That's above murder. But of course, man, I had to go there. I agree with the writer, Scott, that the society thinks that. I find it to be ridiculous. But see, I have a wrong mindset for this kind of topic. I just
Well, it's still your mindset. We still need to understand what your mindset is. There's probably listeners who agree with you.
I am not somebody whose life is destroyed by mistakes of others. I mean, if, I love my wife, something bad happens, something like that happens, I'm going to move on. It's going to suck and you move on. I don't get my world isn't destroyed because of anything. It's just not how I operate. Maybe I'm callous in that way. I guess I don't mean it in that way, but I see so many people and I get it. It's a very emotional thing for other people to go through. And if that happens and then their relationship falls apart because of that, I get why they're emotional and they have a hard time. On the same token, to me, that should be an indicator that there's better fish out there. There's better fish in the sea, whatever. Or there's a better opportunity out there. So this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to better your life because now you can go out and live a better life. I don't feel the same way. My world is not destroyed by this kind of stuff.
It's because you have an open marriage.
Yeah, that's it. That's not true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I understand, like, you cheat on somebody, like, you really betrayed a lot of trust in the security of that person. I could see how that would mess them up, but yeah, I mean, I do kind of side with Aaron in that if somebody cheats, then like it was over anyway. It's like I feel like there is like a bit of, I guess it is a bit of callousness, but that just feel like an immediate disconnect for me of like, yep, all right, doses.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys too. Is could you ever recover, or would you ever try?
It depends on the situation. Every situation is different. Okay, there's so many variables.
Well, pretend that your wife hadn't put a camera on you.
This is one of those topics where I 100% think nobody should make it about them because there's no right answer in that relationship.
Well, I just meant in this particular scenario, if you take the camera out of it, if you just go down to the bare bones of cheating, do you think that that's something that you could recover from?
It depends on the circumstances.
Well, I'm asking you, with these circumstances.
There's no circumstances listed in that story.
They
he had an affair, and she put a camera in his car. That's literally it. I don't know what their marriage is like. I don't know what his reasoning is, because as much as everybody wants to say, well, he's automatically an a-hole or she's automatically an a-hole, whoever's doing the thing, there's usually reasons and psychological reasons behind that. I want to know the whole story before I'm going to make that kind of judgment.
So you're saying that you may consider it depending on the circumstances surrounding the affair?
Yeah. On everything.
If you were cheated on.
Everything matters. Yep. My opinion.
Zach, are you like 100% nah, I'm out? Peace.
Yeah, man, it is like a tall variable situation because, I don't know. Like if it was just, because like, is it just sex? Is it emotional? Is it, do you have a really bad, did you throw something around in a fight last night? Like, I don't understand. Like, I think if it was just sex and they seemed genuinely apologetic, I could probably move past it.
Did you throw something around in a fight last night? What?
Like, did it get physical in terms of a response or toxic?
Gotcha.
Yeah, like, and you kind of feel like you pushed her into the arms of another man, kind of thing. Or,
well, that sounds like a bad relationship all over the place. Then,
well, sure, I mean, if it's cheating, it's probably not a perfect relationship in the first place.
So that brings up another question.
Well, you didn't answer.
Well, I guess I'm with both of you guys. It really just depends on the situation. I don't know if it's me personally or if it's women. I definitely would have a harder time overcoming it. I don't know that I'd give a second chance.
That's right.
I'm pretty much like, there's few things that you can do to completely screw something up. And that's one of the things that you go into a relationship and if I do this is probably going to be the end of the relationship. And if you do it anyway, you obviously didn't care about the consequences to begin with when you made that choice. Whatever the circumstances are around it. If that meant that I was not being a supportive enough girlfriend to somebody, then that means that the relationship was not working anyhow. But you also don't need to be a jerk about it. Just tell me that I suck as a girlfriend and dump me.
Maybe they don't listen. Who knows?
Who knows? So my next question is...
I would have a harder time recovering from my wife yelling at me because I wore my shoes in the house, man. That's just more of a problem for me.
Stop wearing your shoes in the house.
I'm like, oh yeah, well, I guess that's fair.
Do you guys find emotional or physical cheating more, like, do you think that would affect you more?
What's the difference? One
is emotional, one is physical.
Yeah, I feel like I just use this in my defense of the situation.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah. Like if she just needed, you had the worst fight of your life and she went out to, visited Pound Town real quick. I mean, that's one thing. Yeah, no, I feel like almost anybody would say that. I guess maybe not, but like emotional cheating is definitely worse. Like that's game over. Like there's.
Yeah, I would probably say that.
I don't think you can come back.
If you're throwing the I love yous around and stuff like that, then yeah, that's hard to come back from.
Fair enough.
Pound Town, you can come back from.
You could, yes, yeah, absolutely. I think you can. Like I think those relationships can recover if given a second chance.
To further Scott's point, I want to add in the rest of his thought.
Where is that in the map? Where's Pound Town? Is that like by Chicago? Is that like a suburb? I don't know.
Yes, I visited
Zach
it many
knows.
times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He'll give you directions later.
It's on 69th Street.
69th Street.
69th Street.
Okay, so Scott had said
It's weird that they meet each other like that.
The audience hates Richard when they find out he has been cheating on his wife. Many would automatically discredit the character for his unfaithfulness and write him off as an unredeemable character. I've witnessed personally friends and family watching a movie who have no problem with characters committing crimes as high level as murder, but as soon as they revealed to be a cheater, they are immediately written off as evil. So that's kind of one of his thoughts that stemmed that initial question.
I would agree with that, and I find that really annoying. I do. I mean, I get where people are coming from, because especially, it's weird. I don't mean this as like some kind of sexist statement, but I feel it's a bigger issue for women than it is for men.
Yeah, we get more attached than you do.
I don't mean it like, I don't think that's necessarily
It's very
true.
generalized.
Joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Well, just like my statement is kind of generalized. I don't mean it to say all women. I'm just saying, per my experience, women seem to get more emotional in that respect than men.
Why do you think that is?
Because that's your ultimate betrayal thing, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm asking why.
Guys
do you think
are like,
that's the ultimate?
why did you steal my money? Women are like, why did you sleep with so-and-so? Guys are like, I don't care if you slept with my friend. I'm pissed you took my bank card. That's just how the differences are.
Well, I mean,
We're more practical. That's what I think. Guys are more practical.
Yeah. We're thinking straight.
Women are, I don't mean it like that.
Yeah, let's back that train up, Zachary.
Women are more practical, or women are more emotional in that respect. I think men are more practical. And that's a very general statement. I don't mean that for everyone. I'm just saying on laws of averages. I don't know what it is, but I'll be watching like a movie or a TV show or, my God, something, courtroom drama or something. And if the guy cheated, boy, he should lose everything. He should lose his house, his kids, everything he's worked for.
Set it on fire.
Yeah, they're going through a divorce, right? And I've seen this. I've had friends that were going through a divorce, and the guy cheated. Woman was a horrible person, like just horrible mother, horrible person all the way around. And everybody thought she should get everything because he cheated. I'm like, but he had a miserable life. He tried to leave several times, and it was just like this miserable woman. She's just miserable. And everybody's hating him, but she's an awful person. And I don't understand that logic. It's like, okay, I get why you'd be upset with him, but in the same token, she's like a bad mom. That seems like a much bigger problem to me. See? So, it's always a matter of variables. But murder should always top that.
Yeah, it's not really something I had considered until I guess Scott brought it up here that, yeah, when people see a character in fiction cheat, it does seem to be a higher sin than murder or other crimes. That is interesting. I hadn't really thought of that.
It's probably just because it strikes an emotional chord. Like, you have the connection, you have a history or a past trauma that you're associating, like, I went through this. Whereas you can't always necessarily relate to murder. You can't be like, oh, man, this makes me so sad about that time that I killed somebody. And now, or that somebody killed me. You can't relate to that.
I hate when I get killed.
I could see if they remake Infinity War years down the road. Thanos like does a snap and a bunch of people in the audience like, oh yeah, I get where he's coming from, like they do. But, he snapped and then he cheated on his wife. What? Son of a bitch. Cut it off. Kill him. That's how that would switch.
Off with your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does everyone root for Tony Stark? That guy's definitely cheated on people.
Right?
What's that about?
Well, Scott goes on to say that nearly as evil as what has been done to Richard his entire life. Did he really cheat on his wife when she wasn't really his wife? After all, she has been lying to him for several years.
This is like Total Recall now. I don't even know what's going on.
I'm saying this scenario, Richard did not cheat. No, the script led him there.
Well, he thought he was married, so.
That's true.
In his mind, yeah, he's married. So yeah, he did. Sorry, buddy.
No.
I'm not with you on this one, Rich.
He could kill somebody. I would still say it's not his fault.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Isn't it just part of the show?
What?
Well, no, he's been conditioned to live this specific life. He's never had a chance to really properly develop the sense of right or wrong, just what the writers put in front of him. And yeah, I wouldn't hold Richard responsible for any of his actions, honestly.
Did you write this story and these questions? Because now you're leading into the rest of what Scott's talking about.
I'm kind of digging his arc here. I like this.
Well, no, I did not write this question, but that's my stance. So no, Richard did not cheat because his wife was not really his wife. She was an actress.
He still cheated because, in my opinion, because his reality was that he was a married man. That does not alter what his perception of what his life was.
Are we certain they went to, what do we call it, Pound Town? Because maybe it was
they were at 69th Street.
Yeah, they were at the hotel, but maybe we didn't hear about it, so maybe that was during a commercial break, and all he did was kiss her on the forehead. We don't know. Making a lot of assumptions on poor Rich.
Pretty upsetting if they got to commercial break right then.
I know, right?
Why did he need to get quickly dressed if they didn't do anything together?
He took a shower.
He was working out, yeah.
Yeah, he was, exactly.
With a naked woman in his...
He went to Pound Town, which is where he pounds the ground with his muscles.
Yes.
I don't know what
she
that
was
meant.
sleeping next to him.
Yeah, she was tired.
And also...
Long work day.
She worked out, too.
They both worked out at Pound Town.
It's a gym.
I hate you both. Scott says if he were to finish this story, that would be the theme of the rest of it. What is worse, cheating on your wife or messing with someone's entire existence for decades, robbing them of a childhood, life decisions, and genuine experiences?
That's a pretty unbalanced question.
That's a pretty loaded question. I see where Scott's coming from.
Yeah. That's the kind of question you ask if you did. Baby, really, what's worse? The fact that I cheat on you, or if some person's whole life and their existence is fake? What would be worse?
I think Scott's favorite movie is The Truman Show.
That's what I'm guessing, yeah. I think the answer is obvious.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, the answer was in the question, but...
Yeah, he answered it for us.
Back to my point, Richard can't do anything wrong because Richard never had a chance to have a life, so therefore, any action he takes is not fair to judge.
Wait a second.
No, let's go back to you, because you're like, I guess. So in your mind, is it worse? The cheating is worse than
No. I'm
bad
not
existence?
saying I don't think one or the other can be equated to each other. They're both wrong in their own respects. I don't think that they're on equal. That's why Zach's saying like, oh, what she did disqualifies everything wrong.
No.
that
I'm
she
saying
did.
his final question, which is complete existence versus he cheated on her. You seem like you struggle with that one.
I still think that what he did was wrong.
Wow.
I don't want to. No. Let me finish.
Poor Richard, man.
What she did was significantly worse to him, but I just
No,
don't.
that's not what he's asking. What's worse, cheating or the complete fake existence?
I just answered you. What she did was worse. The fake existence was significantly worse.
Oh, okay. Well, that was the producers and everything, right? Not just her.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah,
So everybody
I was
involved.
confused. Yeah.
Yeah. But my only point was that I don't want to remove any mistakes or fault of what Richard did. That doesn't, just because what they did was worse doesn't mean that he finally gets completely off the hook for him making a mistake.
I think based
You
on
still
this
get to-
story, I'm going to give it to Zach on this one. Yeah, I think
You still made a mistake. You can own your mistake and be like, wow, but what happened to me was way worse.
But you can't make a mistake if your life is not real.
How do you know your life is real right now? You don't.
What?
Am I on the Truman Show?
We could be in an alternate reality thing right now, or a dream.
What?
This could be like very,
What?
yeah, this
We're
could
in
be
the
a dream.
Matrix.
We're in the Matrix.
We're all the dreams of Azathoth.
Or this is Inception. You're going to wake up in a bathtub tomorrow.
Well, that's going to happen regardless if, drink
Weirdo.
myself into a stupor.
I kind of hope we all wake up in a bathtub tomorrow, because otherwise you're dirty. Just like Haley and Richard.
Ooh.
After they worked out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They worked
at
out
Pound Town.
at the Pound Town gym.
That's what you guys are going to tell your wives now when you go to I'm just going to the gym.
I can't after this episode. You got to change it.
Well, what do you guys think? Is this story truth or fiction?
I'm going to lean fiction on this one.
Impossible. So fiction.
This is actually truth.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. He said the story is fiction.
I would assume so.
We gathered.
Dang it. I was hoping to convince you guys for a split
You
second.
almost had me. I somehow missed out on this reality show.
You thought you convinced us that this reality show existed and this poor guy's life was okay.
Yeah, I mean, they
Sure.
have like The Bachelor that exists where people are encouraged to cheat. Oh, that's another good topic that we should talk about.
That's a whole episode right there.
Why is that acceptable? I have so many thoughts and feelings on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Short story, they're awful.
What I don't understand is that dude in the real world is a dick. Everybody hates him. On that show, all the women love him. I don't understand that.
What do you
What's the
mean?
difference? I mean, if he's in the real world and he's dating 15 women, he's a
That's
jerk.
what I'm saying.
But there,
Why?
he's so handsome. I love him. I hope he picks me.
Because
Why
he's
is,
got money.
why is
He
a
comes with a
society?
cash prize.
Well, okay, there is that. But why as a society are we saying, no, we want to encourage monogamy, and if you cheat on me, it is the worst crime in the world. But then we're going to sit around with our girls and drink wine and watch this guy date multiple women and break multiple women's hearts, which those women are now going to be a little broken from, and now they're going to break some men's hearts.
I would argue they didn't have hearts if they're on that show.
That's
You don't
touche.
know.
No, he's right. If you're trying out to be on The Bachelor, you're a bad person.
Unless you're listening, we forgive you.
That's extreme. Well, also they would be the loser because nobody who's the winner is going to listen to a podcast
Wow.
that we're on.
Well,
Wow.
now you're making a judgment on this person.
Yeah, and us. I don't like it.
Yeah, the
I'm
judgment
a winner, and I listen to podcasts.
Do you listen to ours?
Of course, Smirk at smirkpodcast.com. Write it with your own story. What's the title of the story?
Yeah.
The title of the story is The Worst Sin.
I'm really disappointed it's not Pound Town.
We're going to
It's not-
rename it. It's Pound Town.
No, we're not. I read
welcome,
the story
Scott.
this week. It is not Pound Town Gym.
I think more people would probably tune in if it was named Pound Town.
Yes.
I think children would tune out.
Well, they're not. I don't think the show is for them.
The Pound Town Show. Is that really explicit? I don't think it's explicit. I mean, it sounds clean. We like pound cake. That's what it's about.
How do we go from the gym to cake?
That's what you would give yourself a reward. You had such a big workout.
Exactly. You work hard.
Oh my god.
You work hard at
You
Pound
work
Town.
hard.
Yeah, you put in extra duty at Pound Town. You get some cake.
I always work up a sweat when I go to Pound Town.
It's so uncomfortable.
I know. All right, let's wrap her up. Wait, is there more
What?
stuff? I gotta
wrap her up.
Ah, I didn't mean it like that, but that came out wrong. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss on Smirk. If you'd like to have yours read, email them to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. You can join the conversation by joining our Facebook group, Smirk, or follow us on Twitter @SmirkPodcast. Be sure to use the show's hashtag Smirk. Better hurry up and get them in because the season's coming to an end soon. We're going to take a little break in a month or two. So don't miss an episode. Be sure to subscribe to Smirk on your podcast app of choice and check out our website at smirkpodcast.com.
And as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk. He wants to go to the gym, is all we're saying.
Yes, he wants to go to the gym on 69th Street.
Well, let's be fair. Everybody wants to go to the gym on 69th Street. That's a great one. Pound Town.
It's always going to be busy. You're never going to be able to get a spot.
You know what? You can always find someone to work out with.
What if you have like a group of friends you want to go work out with?
Wow, that's a hell of a night. Pound Town, everyone's a friend.